Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, could you guys please let me know? Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now, guys. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, could you guys please do let me know? Fine, there's no issues with the microphone like yesterday, right? Everything is audible to you guys. Clear audio, no issues with everybody, right? Good, crystal clear. Okay, great. So I made sure today morning that the microphone is working properly. I think so. The main problem was I had kept the microphone too close to me, and hence, like whenever it was picking up my voice, it was getting like bursted at the end. That is the reason why I think so. You guys were not able to listen to me properly as well. Nevertheless, from today onwards, I don't think so. There should be any kind of problems with our classes. Okay, so the next thing is that what had we learned in our previous class, guys? Could you guys do let me know? Just a quick revision about what we have learned in our previous class. Just a quick revision, guys. What have we learned in our previous class, guys? Just a quick revision, guys. What have we learned in our previous class? We learned about the render function, good. That is React.render, React.DOM.render. We learned about JSX. We learned about 5 pillars of web development. We learned what is vanilla JavaScript, what is JSX. Basics of React we had completed in our previous class. So in our today's class, guys, our aim is to understand the concept of components, how to create components and how to use them as well. Now, like I previously explained to you guys, what is a website? A website is basically an amalgamation of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files. That is how a front end of a website is actually created. Now, I've already told you guys this as well, that components can be thought of as mini websites, right? I told you guys when I was explaining components that components can be thought of as a miniature website itself that is independently able to talk to the backend on its own and fetch data and show it to you. When any kind of new updates or anything is happening, as a mini website, it is able to work. So just like a website, a proper website, your a component also has its own set of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So initially, what used to happen was for the entire website, you used to have one particular HTML file. For the entire website, you used to have one particular CSS file. For the entire website, one particular JavaScript file. Now, this was very difficult to actually maintain. Please try to understand it. You guys are students, you guys are working on your own projects. That is a very small thing, a very small thing that you're doing on your own. But when you're entering into a company, for example, there is a particular website like Amazon. So for Amazon, you have so many different web pages, so many different things, so many different developers working on different parts of this website as well. So for that, I cannot give the same HTML file to all the developers and ask them to, okay, make changes to this. It won't work properly. So what they have done is they have divided this code into components, small chunks of websites, small parts of the websites. Each of the components, even if it is just a button, will have its own HTML, own CSS, and own JavaScript file that basically makes that button work. So now if I want one developer to work on that particular button, I don't have to give him the access to the entire website. I just have to give him the access to the code of that particular button itself and nothing else. That is how you guys are able to maintain such large code bases. Now that is what we're going to see in this particular class on how to create a simple component. It is not going to be difficult, very simple, very easy. Just remember whatever you have learned up till this point of time, up till this particular class, guys, whatever you have learned, that is all that you need to know to understand components. Nothing new is going to come up right over here. Can we do this, guys? Please let me know. Can we do this, guys? Please let me know. This is Okay, so let's get started with it, guys. I'll just open up REPL right now. And okay, and I will open up the same REPL that, okay, we were actually using code sandbox. I'm very sorry. We were actually using code sandbox, not REPL. I just forgot about that. So we'll open up code sandbox. We'll go down below. We'll use the same sandbox from the last class. And this is the same sandbox. That is the same code that we had been using previously. We'll make changes to this itself. We'll close the file section because we don't use it. We'll open up the website in a new tab again because we don't use it. Make this disappear. Okay, great. Now we can start writing our code right over here, guys. Now, what we have done up till this point of time is that we are okay. So we have to share my screen as well. I'm very sorry for that. So let me share my screen right now. Okay, I forgot to share my screen, guys. Sorry for that. Okay. Okay, great. So let's continue from right over here, guys. This is what we have done up till our previous class, guys. Inside of the previous class, we had seen that we have having this h1 tag that we are currently rendering on our website. So as we are able to see that h1 tag is coming up to our website. Now, what if I want to have the heading as well as a small paragraph about DevTown on our website, guys? I want to render two tags. Here, the h1 tag is basically rendering this big and bold text, this heading text itself. And we are having another tag called as the P tag or the paragraph tag that basically renders a paragraph on your website. Okay, so how to do that? I want to render both of the things together on our website. So let us go back. Let's put up in what to render. We'll put up the h1 tag as well as the paragraph tag. Creating a paragraph tag is very simple. An opening P tag and a closing P tag. As simple as that. Opening P tag and a closing P tag, guys. Now, inside of here, we'll put up whatever text that we want. So let's put up DevTown right over here. DevTown, that is the heading. And inside of the paragraph, this is a place for all the developers to learn, grow, and compete. Okay, so we'll save this. As you're able to see, if I have created this h1 tag right over here, guys, the h1 tag previously that contains DevTown inside of it, then we are having a paragraph tag that contains some information inside of it, guys. And then we are saying that, okay, we want to display these two tags on our website inside of the element that has the ID of root. But if we go to our website, as you're able to see, we are getting an error message. Our website is not opening up and we are getting an error message on our website saying cannot assign to read only property message of object blah 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 blah. We are getting an error message. Why is that the case, guys? Why is that the case? The reason for that is what to render. Inside of what to render, you can only render one particular tag at a time. Here you are trying to render two tags. You can only render one particular tag at a time, guys. So you can either render the h1 tag or you can render the paragraph tag. You cannot render two tags together on your website. Are you guys able to understand the problem that we are currently facing, guys? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? The problem that you're currently facing, that we cannot render two tags together on a website. We can only render one tag. Now, inside of your concept of HTML, if you want to put two tags inside of one tag, you use a container tag called as the div tag. Just like, for example, when you're going to school, like you carry rotis and sabjis in your, like, and then go to school, right? Your tiffin. Now, how do you do that? Does your mother cook the roti and then place the hot roti in your hand and then pour the curry into your other hand and you have to carry both like this and go to the school? No. You get a tiffin box, you get a lunch box. You put the roti and the sabji inside of the container, you close the container, and that container, that lunch box, is what you carry from one place to another. So although inside the lunchbox there can be multiple things, there can be a sweet, there can be a roti, there can be a sabji, multiple things can be present inside of the box, but from outside perspective, you're just carrying one thing, that is the lunch box or the tiffin box itself. In a similar manner, inside of HTML, if you want to put multiple tags inside of one particular tag, You want to use a container to put all your tags inside of it, you use a div tag. So what you're going to do is put both the h1 tag and the paragraph tag inside of another tag called as the div tag. So an opening div tag right over here, guys, and a closing div tag at the end. We'll save this. As you're able to see, now what we have done is we are having an opening div tag and a closing div tag, inside of which we are having the h1 and the paragraph tag. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know. We are having the h1 and the paragraph tag inside of a div tag, guys. And now that is what is being rendered to our website. This div tag is the one that is being rendered to our website. Now, from the outside perspective, if you see, if you don't know what is present in the div tag, it appears to be just one particular tag. That is the div tag. We are rendering the div tag. Now, what it contains, we don't care about it. You said us that, okay, we ought to like render just one particular tag. We are going to render this div tag right over there. So we'll save this. We'll go back to our website. As you're able to see, now we are getting both the tags on our website. The h1 tag as well as the paragraph tag is coming up on our website, guys. Now, again, one more thing, guys. Please do remember this. I want everybody to write it down in the live chat as well. Today, there are going to be 2 attendances. If you miss out any one of the attendances for today's class, your attendance will be 0. Can you guys write it down in the live chat? There are going to be 2 attendances. Any attendance missed means 0 attendance for today's class. Can you guys like put it down on the live chat, guys? Please let me know. And guys, if you don't understand something that I'm teaching, write exactly what you are not able to understand so that I'm able to teach you guys that. 2 attendances today. Any one of the attendance, if you guys are missing, you're getting 0 attendance for today's class. 0. Any one you're missing. Can you guys put it down in the live chat? 2 attendance, any attendance missed, 0 attendance. Please write it down in the live chat, guys, so that everybody is able to understand this. Okay, great. So let's continue from right over there. So again, we are not learning anything new right over here. Everything that we have done is from the previous class. We had learned about the render property in our previous class. We had learned about the document.getElement root inside of our previous class. Nothing new right over here. This div tag, it's like a tiffin box. You told that, okay, this is something that we wanted to display, that is h1 and the paragraph tag. We want to display 2 tags right over here. We can't do that. So we'll put it inside of a container. This div tag has no purpose, no use, just to put things inside of it. It is like a bag. It is like a tiffin box. It's just to carry things from one place to another. Inside of it, we use the div tag right over here. As simple as that, guys. As simple as that. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to convert this into a component of its own. Let's call this component as the heading component, guys. We'll call this component as the heading component. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back down below, and we're going to create a function called as heading. We're going to create a function called as heading. So function function, heading, heading, parenthesis, and then these curly braces. This function heading is going to return back to us our div tag. This entire div tag that is present right over here, this function is going to return this div tag back to us. That's it. The only purpose of this function is to return the div tag back to us. Is it not auto correcting it? We are having this function that we have created right over here, guys. The name of the function is heading, which returns this div tag back to us. And now right over here, guys, we are going to use the div tag once again, div, and again the closing div tag as well. So here, as you're able to see, very simply, we have created a function called as heading. This function returns the div tag that we just created back to us. That's it. Whatever div tag that we used inside of our React DOM.render, I've just copy pasted it right over here. I've not done anything else. I created a function called as heading, and that heading function returns back to us this div tag. That's it. That's it. That is all I have done. Copy pasting it inside of a function. That's it. Once you've done that, you can actually use this right over here. So if I want to use this component, creating a component is very simple, guys. You just put up HEADING heading / this. That is how you use a component. So this is a component, guys. This function right now is a component that returns this particular part of your website. That's it. This is a component that returns this particular part of your website. Now, if you want to use this particular component, because this is not just the function right now, you're actually using JSX. Again, reminding you guys, although it looks like a function that we have studied inside of JavaScript, its actual utilization right over here is inside of JSX, not in vanilla JavaScript. So it is called as a component as of this particular point of time. And to use this component, we cannot call it because it's not no longer a function. It's a component. So you use this component inside of JSX, you use this particular format. This is called as a self-closing tag. This is called as a self-closing tag, guys. Okay. Why a self-closing tag? Because usually you are having these open and closing tag. Okay. Inside of HTML, you're having this opening div tag and then the closing div tag. And whatever content, whatever the other things are there, that goes in between this opening and closing tag. Here, for our purpose, this tag has no content inside of it. Whatever was there, it is getting returned back to us. So hence, we don't use an opening and a closing tag. If you want to do that, you can still do it. For example, you can even put it up as this as well, HEADING, an opening and a closing heading tag. But we usually don't do it. We usually use a self-closing tag because it makes no sense to use this. Okay, so instead of writing it 2 times, we just do this. It's called as a self-closing tag. Why? Because you don't require an opening and a closing tag, guys, because there is no purpose. We are not going to put anything inside. There's no content that we have to put inside of the heading tag. There's no content. So we use a self-closing tag. It is itself an opening tag as well as a closing tag. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. See, guys, those who are focusing upon the attendance, those students who have been with me from the start of the session, in the first 5 minutes, I didn't take up any attendance. But after the 5 minutes, I've already taken up 1 attendance. Those who have been with me, they already know if the attendance has been taken up or not. Those who are late, if I have taken up the attendance, you have just missed it. Okay, you should have been on time itself. So do not come to classes late. Otherwise, there's no point on having the classes as well. Even if you're coming to the classes late, if you're just asking about attendance, it's better to leave the class. If you want to stay in the class, focus upon what I'm teaching, because I can guarantee 99.99% of you that almost 30% of the students don't even know what I'm teaching right now. So it would be better for those who are present in the class to just focus upon the class. If somebody's asking if the attendance has been taken or not, just let them know that the attendance has been taken up. Those who don't know, like, that basically means those who are not sure if the attendance has been taken up or not, that means they are not present in the class. They're not even listening to me in the class. Let them suffer a little bit. Okay. Those who have been in the class from the starting paying attention, you will know whether the attendance has been taken up or not. Those who are not paying attention, who are not present in the class, they will be asking this question, sir, I don't know if the attendance has been taken up or not. Just tell them that, okay, the attendance has been taken up. We don't know. And today's attendance was compulsory. 2 attendances were there. Any of the attendance has been missed, that means 0 attendance for the entire thing. 0 attendance. So those who have missed the attendance, there's no point. You will not be able to get the certificates. Okay, so let's continue with that, guys. Okay, any questions? Okay, guys, I'm able to understand. Some of you are not able to understand what I'm teaching. Any questions or any queries are there? Please let me know. Any questions or any queries about this, guys? I want to make sure that you guys are able to understand this, guys. I want to make sure that you guys are able to understand, because this is the basics of React.Js, guys. Cougar down. Oh, Cougar down. From a very long period of time, I've seen you after that. How are you? Okay. Please explain heading as a component. Okay. Okay. Why has the the light has been gone, guys? I'm still here. Don't worry. Uh can you explain once again? See, guys, I'm not going to explain again and again. You have to let me know exactly what you were not able to understand. You have to let me know exactly what you were not able to understand. Otherwise, like, I'm not going to repeat everything once. You can just scroll back and listen to me once again. Okay. So component is a function. So here in this particular case, how to create? See, the point is how to create a function. So to create a function right over here, guys, we have used, sorry, to create a component, we have created a function called as heading. So this heading function is itself a component, guys. This heading function is itself a component. And this is how components are actually created. This is how components are actually created, guys. Okay. Heading. So this is how you actually call a component. Because component itself is a function, you need to call it. Instead of JSX, this is how you call a component itself. That okay, whatever the component contains, whatever HTML code that it contains, it will come up right over here. Why are we putting self-closing tag here? Because see, it's of no use to write more and more code, right? You can keep an opening heading tag and a closing heading tag, but you're not going to put up any content inside of it. So what's the point of that? You're just wasting more space. You're making your code bigger. That is the reason why you use a self-closing tag, because there is no content that needs to go inside of it, right? Change the name of heading to something. You can change it to anything. You can name it as Shaurya. Okay, let's put the name as Shaurya right over here, guys. I can change the component name to Shaurya as well. See, it is totally dependent upon you, how you want to name the content. I named it as heading because that was the only thing that I remembered right over there. Okay, as you're able to see, this is the result of that. Okay, I think so. What exactly is a component, guys? For that, you have to attend the classes on time and every single day. I've already explained what is the component, why does a component exist, what is the use of a component itself, and now we are doing it practically. So again, explaining what I've explained in the previously, you just have to focus upon in the class. Okay, so let's continue with that, guys. So we have created our very first function, but now the point is, like I've already told you, right? That it becomes easier to maintain your code when you create components, because then you can just give the component to some other developer and he can work upon it, right? But right over here, our entire code, our entire component is still in the same file. This is our same index.js, and our component is still in the same file itself. There's no point of that, right? That point gets invalidated. Our code just expanded without any use to it. So what can we do to make this more validated itself? So for that, we are having one more point that we can do, that is shift our component to a new file. Okay, we will shift our component to a new file, guys. So what you're going to do is we're going to go into files. We're going to create a new file right over here, and we're going to call it as Shaurya. Whatever the name of your component is, whatever the name of your function is, the same name you have to use for your file name as well, guys. For example, right over here, our function or our component name is Shaurya. So I will have to create a component called as Shaurya itself. So Shaurya Shaurya dot JSX, not JS. Here you are going to write Java. You are not going to write JavaScript code. You're going to write JSX code, guys. Hence, we call it as Shaurya. That is the name of the component that we are having. Dot JSX, that is JavaScript XML file that is there. Okay, as you're able to see, this is the logo for it. That comes up as a React logo, because again, JSX was originally created for React itself. So in this particular file, we are going to shift our code of our component. So we are going to shift this entire code, guys. We are going to cut this up from right over here, and we will save it inside of shaurya.jsx. Now, this is a JSX file, guys. What is the very first thing a JSX file needs? I know you guys know about it. I've already told you guys about this in the previous class. Can you guys let me know what is the most important thing inside the JSX file that it actually requires? Can you guys please let me know? What is the most important thing? Library, that is React.Js. Why? Because JSX cannot be understood properly. You need to convert it into pure JavaScript, and that is done using what? Babel. Where is Babel present? Inside of React.Js. So the first thing that you have to do is import React. Just React, nothing else. Just React, guys. We don't need React DOM. React only. So we'll just do that. We'll just copy it from right over here. Control C. Control V. Now our function Shaurya is present inside of our Shaurya.jsx file. We need to utilize this function inside of index.js file, right? Our function is present inside of Sharia.jsx, but we need to utilize this function. We need to use this function inside of index.js. Let us try to understand this particular predicament that we are having right now. So let us open up Paint, guys, right over here. Then we go to Paint, and let me try to explain it to you guys in a manner that would be easy for you guys to understand. Okay, let's assume you are having India and we are having USA. Similar to that, we are having your index.js, and we are having our Sharia.jsx. Now, US basically has a lot of tech, okay, TECH tech, maybe laptops, computers, iPhones, iPads, your mobile phones, maybe some technology like 6G, 7G, or whatever is there. Okay, some tech is with USA. Similar to that, with Sharia, you are having the function that the component Sharia is present inside of your file, that is Sharia.jsx. This is present inside of Sharia.jsx, guys. Okay, so now India requires this text. Okay, this text that is there inside of US. India basically requires that. So what does India do? What does India do, guys? Can you guys please let me know? What does India do? India requires tech which is present in USA. What does India do, guys? It imports the tech from US, right? It will import the tech from USA, so it will import it. Now, when can India import something from US, guys? When can? What is the condition in which India can actually import stuff, that tech from USA? Can you think about it? What is the main condition in which India can actually import tech from like USA? It can only import a tech if America is actually exporting that tech, right? If America is saying that, okay, I won't export this tech, okay, I'm not going to export this tech, do whatever you want to do. How can India import it? Although it requires it, but India cannot import it, right? So in a similar manner, US needs to export this tech. Only then India will be able to import it. Now, America will be exporting a lot of different things. It will be exporting tech, it will be exporting medicines, it will be exporting, in some case, drugs and people. And not being a political commenter right over here, but so a lot of different things America will be exporting. Now, India does not want to import all the negative things. It only wants to import things that it actually needs, right? So, what will India do? So, by default, if any particular country is coming to US and asking that I want to import something from you, then by default US should only be exporting one particular thing that it contains. By default, only the tech needs to be exported from US. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. By default, only the tech should be exported, not everything. US will have a lot of different things that it is exporting, right? But when any company is coming and saying I want to, any country is coming and saying I want to import something from you, then by default US should be exporting one particular thing itself. So tech should be exported by default. That if anybody asks that, okay, we need something, just export the tech. Do not export other things itself. In a similar manner, the Sharia.jsx right now contains the function that is called as Sharia, but it might contain other functions as well. It might contain Sharia function, it might contain Runal function, it might contain Shruti function, it might contain Asad function, it might contain Rohan function. All these functions might be there inside of Sharia.jsx, right? But what particular function should I export? By default, if anybody is coming to me and saying that, okay, I want to import something from you, what function should I export by default? By default, it should be Sharia function itself. So I need to export Sharia function, export by default, if anybody is asking to import something, then this is the only function that should get exported by default. If somebody is not asking particularly that I only want to import Herschel, not Shaurya, only then Herschel should be exported. Otherwise, by default, if somebody is asking I want to import something from you, only Shaurya function should be exported, guys. And similar to that, inside the index.js, we need to import the Shaurya function. We need to import the Shaurya function. So let us first export Shaurya by default. So we'll go back, go into Shaurya.jsx. So by default, we are exporting Shaurya right over here. Okay, by default, we are exporting Shaurya right over here. So Rohan, I know I have used your name right over there, so don't feel bad about it. I try to make sure that you are able to understand the example a little bit more. Okay, now that I've done this, I can go back to our index.js and I will import my index.js right over here. Instead of this, I will import Shaurya from Shaurya.jsx dot slash. I have to use dot slash Shaurya dot JSX. Okay. So what I've done right over here is that here you guys are able to understand, right, that I've exported by default Shaurya. If anybody asks that, okay, I want to import something from Shaurya.jsx, the function Shaurya should get exported. Are you guys able to understand this particular part of our code, guys? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this particular part of the code, guys? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this particular part of the code, guys? Please let me know. Great, amazing. We go to index.js. So we are importing. Now we are importing things inside of index.js. We're importing the function Shaurya from. Now you can import it as anything. You can import it as an app. Okay, I want to import app from that. Okay, I will use app right over here. So by app, okay, because no matter what I import, no matter what I import, if I'm importing something from Shaurya.jsx, by default, from that, in my company, in India, iPhones are called as Apple iPhones. Okay, in my like country, India, iPhones are called as Apple iPhones. Inside of US, they are called as iPhones. Okay, difference in name, a little bit difference, but difference in the name itself. But if from India I'm calling and saying that by default America is exporting iPhones only, it does not matter what you are calling it in India. You're calling it as Apple iPhones, you're calling it as pineapple iPhones. If you're saying that, okay, I want to import pineapple iPhones from US, by default they are exporting just one kind of iPhones itself. They are only going to export iPhones. Now what you call it inside of your home country is totally dependent upon you. It's totally dependent upon you. So even if you want to call it as app, it is your choice. You want to call it as heading, it is your choice. Because your component that is getting exported from Shaurya.jsx is going to be Shaurya itself. Usually this is not a good practice. You should always use the default name itself. This is not a good practice because it will lead to a lot of confusion in future. But by default, we should use the default name itself. We shouldn't use different kinds of names at any particular point of time. Okay, now what is this dot slash? Okay, now this Shaurya.jsx is basically a file, right? Shaurya.jsx is basically a file that exists. As you're able to see, Shaurya.jsx is basically a file. Now where is this Shaurya.jsx present? Where is this Shaurya.jsx file present? So both index.js and Shaurya.jsx are present inside of the same file that is called as src. Both the files index.js and Shaurya.jsx are present in the same file folder called as src. That is what it is saying, that dot slash, that is wherever index.js is present. Right now we are present inside of index.js, guys. Wherever index.js is present inside of that same folder, dot slash basically means wherever index.js is present inside of the same folder, find a file that is called as shaurya.jsx inside of the same folder, inside of the same directory itself. That is what it is stating right over there. Now that we have understood it, okay, we will save this as it is, and we'll go back to our website, refresh it if you want, and everything is working absolutely fine. There's no issues, there is no problem whatsoever. Now, can you guys do a small assignment? Can you guys do a small assignment after today's class? I'll be checking it up in our tomorrow's class, guys. I'll be checking it up in our tomorrow's class, guys. Okay, can you guys do a small assignment? Why are you not using the okay, very good question right over here. So Ashish has asked that, okay, while we were exporting Shaurya, why haven't we used a parenthesis right over here? Why haven't we used a parenthesis while exporting Shaurya? Now, what is the difference? When you are using parenthesis, that means you're calling the function right over there. Do we need to use that function? When America is exporting iPhones, do they open up every single iPhone, use it, and then export you the used iPhones itself? No, right? They ship the entire thing out to you. You use it wherever you want to use it in India. They don't use it and then ship it off to you. In a similar manner, if you use a call function right over here, you are actually using the function here itself inside of Shaurya.jsx. That is not what you want to do. You want to ship the entire unused function right over there. Okay, now I have shipped the entire iPhone. You have shipped the entire like function itself. You use it according to yourself. Okay, that is what we are trying to do right over here, guys. Okay. Okay. So even if you don't have a laptop, you can use Code Sandbox from your mobile phones as well. So there's no point of saying that I don't have a laptop or something like that. The main thing that you have to do is you need to create another function. Okay, you need to create another component, not Shaurya.jsx. Use your own name. If your own name is Harsh, use Harsh.jsx. If your own name is Ashish, use Ashish.jsx. If your own name is Vaibhav, use Vaibhav.jsx itself. Okay. So whatever your own name is, use that same name to create another component that basically exports a H2 element. There's a just like H1 is there, H2 that is a little bit shorter than H1. So and present it on the website, render it on our website itself. That's it. That's it. That is all that you have to do. Very simple, very easy. Create another function on your own, another component on your own, guys. Follow the exact steps that we have told in our today's class and do it. Can you guys do that? Please let me know. Can you guys do that? Please let me know. Will you guys do that, guys? Please let me know. Very easy, very simple, nothing too complicated, nothing too difficult about it, right? I don't think so. There should be anything difficult about it. That is the reason why I'm asking. I've shown you each and every step that you have to use. There is not a lot of brain power that you have to apply right over there. Can I expect that from you guys? To before coming to the class tomorrow, can you guys do that for me? Before coming to the class tomorrow, can you guys do that for me? Okay. So try to complete it, guys. So, okay, I'll give you guys the attendance right now. You'll be having 5 minutes to fill up your attendance at exactly 8:58. The attendance link will be closed. At exactly 8:58, the attendance link will be closed, guys. Please start filling up the attendance right now. Please start filling up the attendance right now, guys. At exactly 8:58, the attendance link will be closed. Please start filling up the attendance right now. Exactly 8:58, the attendance link will be closed. Please start filling up the attendance right now. We'll be meeting on our tomorrow's class, guys, and we'll continue from right over there. For the use of React itself, we can do that with HTML. So the use of React is basically to create components to make sure that it is in a very divided architecture itself. And in this particular way, when you connect it to the backend, it is directly each and every component will be able to connect with the backend itself. Okay. The link is valid, guys. There are so many different links. You can try another link itself. As you're able to see, people have started filling up the attendance as well. 88 people have already filled up the attendance. There's no point, there's no problem with the attendance. At exactly 8:58, the attendance will be closed. We'll meet in our tomorrow's class and we'll continue from right over there. Thank you so much, guys. Bye, guys. Bye, bye, bye. Bye.